Good morning. We got moved to the last farm across town on this side last night. So I didn't do much. Just got a bin. I went down this edge, cut around here for the trucks to get turned around, and did that little bit and got a bin. So they're pretty good beans. So the front truck is almost loaded. It needs another bin. Wouldn't have sense of sending it until we get it full with the price of fuel and everything. So I got them all lined up. Got the combine blown off. I'm gonna hit a couple grease circs on it this morning. They haven't reached their time, but I always like to hit a couple of them anyway. The fan, stuff like that, because that thing just spins a million miles an hour all day. Spray the chains. Just try to hit a little bit here and there and hopefully keep problems with bearings down. It is like 8:30, 9-ish. So it was a heavy dew today. The wind's not blowing. It's been blowing every day, but today it's not blowing. So we probably won't start until, I don't know, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock probably. Once this dew burns down. But beans are pretty good. They're not the dark gold beans that we thought they were, like the other farms. Seems like these tan ones do not do as good as the dark, like that dark gold color bean. Some farms where I was planting the other kind and then switched to this kind, even though we told everybody that we wanted the dark gold beans because they always yield better, we didn't get them all. So you can tell a difference when you're in these beans. I mean, these beans are cutting 50, 60 bushels. But man, when you get in them dark gold beans, I mean, you're talking, well, you've seen it. You know, you're talking 80, 90, 100 steady all the way down the field. I don't know what the difference is in the bean, but the dark, really dark gold bean produces yields way better than these tan beans. So if any of you seed salesmen are watching next year, I told them that I wanted the dark gold bean and I didn't get it all. But when I tell you I want the dark gold bean, if you don't give me the dark gold bean, I'm going with a different company, because you're talking about a 30 bushel difference. I know that seems hard to believe, but you're talking about a 30 bushel difference. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what the difference is, but there is a difference. You can visually look at them and tell there's a difference. And then when you get the monitor going, it's just, you really know there's a difference. So that's one stipulation I have. You know, beans aren't cheap anymore, units. So if we're gonna get it, I wanna get what I want. Because you only got one shot, you plant them, they come up, they're not right, they're not right. But the beans are yielding good. They're just not yielding like the other kind that you requested. So it goes for AgriGold, Nutrient, Seed Consultant, Pioneer, all of them. I want the dark gold bean from now on. I do not want any more tan beans. My dad is adamant about that, and we even asked for them at the beginning of the year, and we got half, and the other half is this. But I tell you, they yield. I mean, they really out yield these light tan beans. So just food for thought. If you're going to be buying soybeans, always ask for that dark gold, because they seem to out yield the tan ones. I don't know what the difference is, but they do. See. All right, so back to combining today. I just got over here, made the first pass through the field. So the beans are doing all right. They're not as good as the dark gold ones on the other farms, but they're holding consistent about right there. So the tan bean is not as good as a gold bean. I don't know how to stress that. Maybe some people think they are, but I don't think they are. Oh look, there's Big Lou and my brother showing up. That is what a groundhog can do to a bean field. See that big circle? And there's their hole right there. That big sandy spot. See it? It is crazy. There's another one just like that in the front of the farm that had 4 of them in there. We sat there and watched them one day. And I think my brother got all 4 of them. But this one you couldn't get to because it was in the back of the farm. They were safe. But they ate that whole entire great big circle out. So there's 2 big circles in this field. So they do as much, if not more, damage than deer do. It is just ridiculous. Everybody kill every groundhog that you ever see, please. So here is the groundhog hole in the front of the farm, right here. This is where my brother laid down justice on them before they got carried away. As you can see, when they cleared out, weeds started happening. And it would have been a lot bigger if he hadn't come over and took care of them. See, they always have 2 holes, an escape hole and just a normal hole. See right there? There's 1, there's 2. Hate a groundhog. So I got done across town. I didn't video much, to tell the truth. I was watching One Lonely Farmer's video and stuff like that. I think that farm ended up doing that one last farm I was on. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. I think it ended up like 52 bushels or something. Did good for the ground it is. It's like a gravel pit, but didn't do what you thought it would do. But I moved all the way back over here. It took me 30 minutes. And I am cutting a field of plenish beans. We had some plenish beans that we got left over from last year. We had some boxes, so we planted them. And these jokers are, when we get to the end, I see what they're averaging. They were averaging 88 after the first pass. You can clearly see 118, 101. I mean, these things are doing really well. I'm hands-free. Yeah, I mean, they are just steady. And I don't even have all the header in here. I just set a line, but they are just steady. I mean, 80 to 120 steady. I mean, it's just good. It's coming in there too, boy. Look at that. That ain't no lie. I mean, one little round and the fields are teeny. I mean, they are just booming, 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 booming. Very happy. Got Big Lou over there waiting on me. He brought the header over, so trying to get everything opened up for my brother to get in here with some trucks. I mean, it's just crazy. They still holding strong. Good Lord. I am gonna lose some right in this little spot right here. It was wet. It always stays wet. We have to figure out how to drain this little spot right here. I mean, the way this field's producing, we need to figure that out quick. This is the beaver farm right here. It stays wet, so I'm assuming that's why the beans are so good, because it stays wet and it just gave them moisture all the time. I mean, it's just crazy. And we used to plant plenish. We stopped planting it, but at the end of the last year, we had to replant some of the, we were planting after the corn, behind the 75-day corn, and we had like 2 extra boxes left over of the 4-1s, and they were treated. So they can't dump treated seeds, so they just gave them to us, and we planted them. So this is pretty much all straight profit right here, other than putting them in, I guess. I got green vines though, but the bean is dry. But I mean, look, I'm not making anything up. I'm just cutting. And this is what they're doing. This is just steady. And I just started. I hit a bare spot there with the grass where it was flooded, so they should be building back up. Good bean though, good lord. I still got all this to do. Let's see what they average. Right now they're averaging 71. And I'm opening up the field, so you always lose a little bit when you stop and start and you don't build it up enough, I guess. It seems like, I don't know. It was 88, and then you go through those bare spots over there and you're starting and backing up. People that have these things know what I'm talking about. But I'm happy regardless. It's just going to keep building up from here. I mean, look how clean that sample is. New Holland, what? New Holland, what? Look at that. That is clean. That is straight up bean, dog. What'd you say, Wes? What? Look at that. Look at that, you little ball. Just how it is. That's actually beans. It's just green vines. But there's beans there. They're dry. So, looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Ah, this is just ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's just crazy. Still going. The beans are actually dry. The vine is green as heck. And this farm is a bad beaver farm and a bad, horrible deer farm. You got a bunch of guys that like hunt here. And I don't know if they're trophy hunters or what they are, but they definitely don't kill many deer. There's a farm on the other side of the woods that we farm, and it's actually worse than this one. It's like this side is the beaver side, and that side is the deer side. It's crazy. Still, oh, I don't know why that's on. Anyway, I am still cutting, and I moved to a different field, so I'm opening it up, and right here is where you can see the groundhogs and the deer have ate by the ditch, and they're running 58, 60. I'm hoping when I get out here they would be doing better. So I moved to a different field. That's the field I was cutting. It's dark, and they are still doing damn good. So that wasn't a fluke. These plenish are 4-1 plenish. I mean, that's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I'm not bragging, trust me. I'm as surprised as anybody that's watching this. I don't even have my header all the way because I'm overhanging the ditch a fraction. Let me push it up a little bit there by the thing. Let me get up here and get back down and get going again. Nice, dang it. I got daggone dirt underneath of it. I wasn't paying attention. I have to get the number if anybody's interested in these beans. They're Pioneer, Plenish. I know they're a 4-1 bean. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I mean, that's just, that's pretty consistent. So, and this is like every round. This is what they're doing. Look, I mean, it's just rolling in there, and I just started. So, going extremely well. Light, but I'm coming back the other way. It's just consistent. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I've literally made 2 trips around this small field, and this is the third, and the passes are really short. I mean, maybe 300-yard passes, if that, maybe 200 yards, 250. I mean, that's just crazy. Just crazy. Well, we clearly won't be cutting any beans till probably the end of the day, if that. There is a combine somewhere in there, you can see it, but it is foggy. Foggy, foggy, foggy this morning. I did get a load of the plenish cut. We probably got about another load left of plenish before we go back on regular beans. Yes, it is extremely foggy this morning. My brother, he hauled that load, so not going to be able to do anything for quite a while today. It might be 3 o'clock before we can cut. Maybe just to get another load in. Probably all we'll be able to do. So that's how our day's starting. How's your day starting? Just starting to make the first round this morning, and the beans are still doing pretty good. Pretty happy. That's where I was cutting last night. So I'm gonna open this side of the field up over here. First load's always a little wet once you first get started, but couldn't be happier so far. I noticed that I looked on the back axle. Every now and then I'll stop and check, make sure the combine's doing a good job, but you can't stop every second. You kind of set it to what you think. But this morning when I was filling it up with fuel, I did notice that I had grinded some beans on the back axle. So I opened up the concave 3 more millimeters. Wes said he's an American, so he goes by inches. But the combine's millimeters, so I'm going by millimeters. So I opened it up 3 more millimeters, and I slowed my rotor speed down a tad bit. So actually the yield would have been better than what it was. I was just grinding like quite a bit of beans. So maybe I was pushing more beans through her and had to open her up a little bit more. But, you know, it is what it is. So I opened it up now, and a little wet here around the edge of the closer to the woods, but they're still just, like I said, the first load is always, first bend anyway, is always wetter. It is 12:30, and I mean the yield is still getting pushed. Well, I got half the header over in the ditch now. Let me get her back over here so I can get more in there. Should see her start to go back up again. I would think so. There we go. Come on. I like to let the header overhang a little bit because some of the beans fall that way. So now they're dry, 13.5, 93. I mean, that's, regardless of what they turn out as, that's still very, 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 very good. Very happy. Very happy. Very blessed this year. I know you probably hear that from everybody, but you know, we didn't really have a bad bean year last year. I think we were average around 50. That was with early and wheat beans. Corn, you know, it was drier for the corn, but I'm happy, very happy with this yield that we get. So I decided to cut right up through the middle of this field. We'll see where she's at, where they're at, if they look good, if they don't. Like they're doing fairly decent. Seems like they're doing pretty good still. Still got all that to cut. Over there, way over there, you can't tell it. Back there, and then on the other side of the woods, there's like a 30-acre farm over there too. So, but can't go wrong with that, I don't think. Pretty good. Love a draper, but I am losing some. Sometimes some of the shorter beans will go underneath, or it'll pop if the beans are all the way to the ground. The cutter bar will pop the beans and they'll either go under the header or they'll just sit on the cutter bar. I wish I had a Prairie air system that would blow the air. I tell you, man, I've watched videos on that stuff. It's amazing what the Prairie air system does for your yield. I mean, it basically pays for itself. It might take 2 years for it to pay for itself, but people got to be scared, stop being scared of spending the money on things that really help you, because, you know, my dad, he don't believe in stuff like that, but it really, I've seen it firsthand. I mean, it works. I mean, I lose, even though a draper's great, you still lose a lot with a draper. I mean, they're great, but I feel like you lose. There's things you can do to them, like the shark fin, and then they got like the little brush that goes in there you can do. But the Prairie air system, I think, is the best thing that you can do for a draper. Okay, we'll do it from start to finish. Start to finish, we'll see what one of these whole rows do. Wait till she gets some in her, so she starts reading, and we'll just see what a whole pass. I'll take you on a whole pass here. You know, they're not very big fields. There's a bunch of little cut up fields around here. The problem is you're steady, you know, trying to open everything up and stuff. But let's see, here we go. Let's see what it does. You might be tired of seeing the yield, but I'm not. Take you on a whole pass. That way you don't think I'm bullshitting you just in one spot. This is the whole length of the field, you'll see. I think the highest I've hit so far was 128, and I could never get the damn phone up in time to do it. Now you'll see like a little bare spot right here, and you'll probably see her drop a little bit in that spot. There you go, you see her drop in that spot. That's how long it takes to read it, and then she'll start building herself back up. There you go. So little spots like that, you see how it was 30 bushel difference in yield just in one spot. There's another little spot right here. A little drowning out spot, I guess. You'll see that. See it drop as it ends up. There you go, see her dropping now, and then she'll start building back up once she runs that spot through her. There you go. tank. Alright, so I just got in this other field, so let's see what this one's doing. That's the one I was just cutting, so I'm just starting to open this field. Like all these little fields are all cut up and go around and back around. And so let's see what this one does. It's closer to the wood, so it's probably going to be a little bit wetter, but the yield is still there. These are a Dynagrow 4.5 bean. Now I expected this field to be a little bit wetter because it doesn't get any sun from these being so close to these woods. I don't know why it does that, but it does it. It says the alternator. I got them coming Friday to check it. But they are doing very well. When we had that combine fire, they put a new harness on, and they're thinking that they didn't get some of the plugs when they come through brand new. They got like little plastic on them, and they're thinking that the connection, it does it sometimes because the connection gets bad. They want to unplug it and re-plug it back in and see if it's just a connection, because she's got 2 alternators on her, so that's why I haven't really worried about it. But they're coming to take care of that Friday. So, but as you can see, never gets any sun here, but you know, it's got to get cut. It'll never dry down, so I'm fine with that. But the yield is still right there. Still a good yield in this field. I mean, you can't be discouraged even by woods like this. So these Dynagrow 4.5s, I don't know what the exact number is. We planted these and the 4.9s, and these 4.5s. You know, the 4.9s were doing good if you remember in the videos. Here, I'll show you what deer damage does and woods does. Even though we took the excavator and cleaned all this up, it's still shaded so bad. Let's see how much wetter it is by the woods, and it's still doing 49, 50 bushels, but you can see where the deer just completely ate it. I mean, they've just ate it down. Then once you get out here in the sun, it'll pick back up and do better. But this is the sacrifice being by woods. All that farm over there was where we had the Agrigold beans. We cut them that you saw in previous videos. But the farm, it runs all the way through. It's quite a bit of land here. That's not ours. There's a little section of corn right here in the middle. That's not ours. That's one of my friend's farms. He's got that. It's just a little farm that separates the 2 farms. So we'll get out here in the sun. Let's see what these see what the difference in the beans are. Well, the yield picks right back up again. And they'll start drying down again. But you couldn't be any more impressed with that yield. I mean, that's just, there you go, 13.9, 111. That's pretty impressive. Like I said, Dynagrow 4.5. And I don't know why, but a gold bean always outperforms the tan bean. Now, their tan beans over there, they are the rest of the plenish. I'm going to cut them as soon as I get these cut, because I got another load of plenish. But plenish doesn't dry down as quick as, it takes them a little bit longer in the day to dry down. So I'm going to cut this load first, and then go over and finish cutting that load of plenish over there. But, I mean, pretty damn good, Couldn't be happier. I know you get tired of seeing yield, but I'm just showing you the yield. You know, if anybody's interested, you can get up with Josh Twilly He is our sales rep at Nutrient, and he's the one that said these would be good beans. And it turns out he's right. Normally I think he's just bullshitting us, just trying to sell us stuff, but this year he was actually pretty right with it. Now groundhogs live in these old sheds right here. See where they've come out and ate the heck out of beans? I mean, groundhogs, I feel like groundhogs are worse than deer. I don't know what people say, but sometimes deer just kind of eat down on the plant, but groundhogs eat the whole thing to the dirt. I mean, groundhogs don't play around. When they're hungry, they eat circles. Well, you saw the circles in some of the other fields that we had. It's just crazy how bad they are. I mean, they will mow. They'll just eat and eat and eat. So, but there's the yield. Can't complain about that. I was just texting Temple Rhodes. I don't know if you know him. He was on the Podfather, and he was on Extreme Ag. He has, I think him and Matt Miles are in Extreme Ag, and I was showing him. He said I should have gotten a bean competition for Maryland, which I should have. For non-irrigated, I probably would have won it, but I don't know. I just like competing against myself. If I do this good this year, me and Dad, my brother, we want to beat it next year. So maybe we can, maybe we can't. I don't know. Maybe we'll end up doing better next year. Who knows? That was the field I was cutting. I moved back to another small field here, and they are doing pretty good. I mean, not the greatest, but they're still averaging up there pretty high. Just small fields here. The beans aren't very tall, but they are full of pods. I mean, full of pods. I think they're very impressive. I just hit a deer spot, so it went down. You can see where deer have been out here fighting or something, and they're steady pushing on each other, tearing all the beans up. And there's a little flooded out spot right here. But overall, beans are great. I know y'all are tired of seeing the yields, but I'm not. I can't help it. I'm just showing them. I'm showing you what we're capable here in Maryland if you get a decent rain. And we had decent rain this year for the first time in 2 or 3 years. You know, we always get rain, but it seems like when the crops really get going to where they need it, we get rain early in the year. We get rain early in the year when the crops are starting to grow, and then it stops. And then we'll get rain closer towards harvest. But this year we got the rain the whole time when we needed it. I mean, it just, you know, even if it was just a couple of tenths here and there, we got enough rain to keep holding everything and keep it pretty, keep it growing. And that was what I think made our crops, our corn crop and our bean crop. I mean, and we even had a good wheat crop. I think we averaged like 90-something bushels to the acre, 98 or something. So overall, so, you know, corn was like well over 200, like 230 something average. Beans are going to probably be averaging anywhere from, just going by what all the farms have done so far, and I still think the wheat beans are going to beat the early beans because they look even better. We'll probably do about 70 overall average, I feel like, on all the early beans, which that's pretty damn good, you know. 70, 75, I think, somewhere around there. Could be higher, but I'm just saying a little safe. So, and I can't wait to jump into the wheat beans and see what they're doing. So, I don't know. Not bragging, just thankful that we're having a good year. And basically all I'm just trying to show all you guys is you know, the different varieties that we use, and I'm gonna pick her up. The different varieties that we use on our farm, and you know, maybe you'd like them too, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. I'm just showing you what their potential is on a decent year. And we planted, this is the first year we planted several different types of corn, and it all seemed to do good. I didn't like Proven 40. We tried that on 200 acres, even though it yielded good. I think it averaged like 240, something like that. That's good, but the stuff that it didn't have on it was the same variety, averaged like 260 or something. So, you know, there's a 20 bushel difference, and you spend all that money on the Proven 40. It's kind of like, to me, it looked like it altered the plant some, because the plant totally changed its leaves. Everything just totally looked off on the same varieties that we didn't have it on. And it seemed like the stuff we didn't have it on looked healthier. So remember I was telling you about the seed consultant, the 1087, how big the leaves are. Well, I did it, you know, I planted a lot of that without it, and then I planted 100 acres of it with Proven 40, and it just made the leaves skinny. It changed, it's like it just changed the whole DNA of that plant. And I didn't like that, because it did way better, 20, 30 bushels better without the Proven 40. And that's a racehorse. I mean, that's a good, to me, that is a good corn right there, a good variety. I really like that variety. But we won't be using Proven 40 anymore. I know some guys probably like it. Maybe it works better on irrigated land. I don't know. And maybe some guys thinks it works. I don't know. You know, it just didn't work for us. So, who knows? But anyway, like, subscribe, share, please. I'd really like to hit 3,000 subscribers. It's been a long, tough road. I do the same things that a lot of these guys do, but a lot of these guys that are new out west, I watch them when they get a new channel and they'll start with 50 subscribers. Next thing you know, they'll have 5,000 in a week. And you know, we're just here in Maryland trying to do what we do, but we're putting up yields. I'm showing you what we do. Same equipment. Trying to show you everything that we do. I do show you the yields, but I'm not going to hide them. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to show you the yields or tell you the acres we do, and I don't care. I mean, we do what we do. You know, we always want more, you know, to grow, and we will get there eventually. But yeah, I'm just showing you what different varieties do. I don't try to keep it from you like all the other channels do. A lot of them want to hide it. They only want to show you the good. Well, I'm showing you the good and the bad, but you know, I can't help that. You know, a lot of it's good this year. Last year I showed you the bad. You know, we were in a drought year. Even though we still did decent, we were in a drought year, you know. But I still videoed it, showed you, told you what varieties did good, even in a drought year, which ones did bad. So, I don't know. Just thumbs up the video, subscribe, watch, whatever. So, I'm going to keep cutting, and then I'll probably just start doing another video. So, see you later. Wait a minute. See you later.